If you've ever walked into a room and felt smaller than everyone else, if you've ever doubted your voice, your worth, or your place in the world, listen closely, because confidence is not something you're born with. It's something you build, and today you'll learn exactly what to do to become more confident, even when the world tries to convince you that you're not enough. Confidence doesn't arrive with applause. It doesn't show up when everything is perfect. Real confidence is born in moments of fear, rejection, and uncertainty, and no story proves this better than the journey of a woman who walked into industries where she didn't fit the mold, didn't look like the expected face, didn't speak the perfect accent, and still rose to the very top. Confidence begins the moment you stop asking for permission to exist. When Priyanka Chopra stepped onto global stages, she wasn't handed confidence on a silver plate. She carried insecurities, self-doubt, and the weight of being constantly judged. Her looks were criticized, her voice was questioned, her choices were doubted, yet she kept moving forward. Not because she felt fearless, but because she decided fear would no longer control her actions. Here's the first truth you must understand. If you want real confidence, confidence is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to act despite fear. Most people wait. They wait until they feel ready. They wait until they feel worthy. They wait until someone else validates them. But confident people move first. They speak even when their voice shakes. They show up even when they feel uncomfortable. They try even when failure feels close. If you're waiting to feel confident before taking action, you've already lost. Action comes first. Confidence follows later. Think about it. Every confident person you admire was once unsure. Every strong voice was once silent. Every bold decision was once terrifying. The difference is simple. They didn't let fear decide their future. One of the most powerful lessons from Priyanka's journey is this. She never tried to fit into spaces that were never designed for her. Instead, she expanded those spaces by being unapologetically herself. Confidence grows when you stop trying to be accepted and start deciding who you are. The moment you shrink yourself to make others comfortable, you trade confidence for approval. And approval is a poor replacement for self-respect. You don't need to change your accent. You don't need to change your background. You don't need to change your story. What you need is to stop apologizing for it. Confidence is built when you say, "This is who I am, and I'm still showing up." There were moments when doors closed, roles were rejected, opportunities disappeared. But instead of internalizing rejection as personal failure, she treated it as redirection. That mindset alone can transform your confidence. Rejection is not a statement about your worth. It's a test of your resilience. Every time you take rejection personally, your confidence weakens. Every time you learn from it and move forward, your confidence strengthens. Strong people don't ask, "Why wasn't I chosen?" They ask, "What can I learn and where do I go next?" If you want confidence, stop replaying rejection in your mind like a punishment. Replay it like a lesson. Another powerful habit that builds confidence is owning your ambition. Many people are afraid to want more, afraid to dream big, afraid to say out loud, "I want success, I want growth, I want more." Especially when society tells you to stay quiet, stay humble, stay in your place. But confidence is rooted in clarity. When you know what you want, you walk differently. You speak differently. You move differently. Priyanka never hid her ambition. She didn't whisper her dreams. She worked for them. And when you own your ambition, without guilt, confidence becomes natural. You are not arrogant for wanting more. You are not selfish for believing in yourself. You are not wrong for choosing growth over comfort. Confidence is what happens when your actions align with your inner truth. Here's something most people don't talk about. Confidence is also built in solitude. Behind every confident public moment are private hours of preparation, discipline, and self-work. Confidence isn't magic. It's practice. It's improving your skills. It's learning from failure. It's doing the work when nobody is watching. When you know you've prepared, you stop doubting yourself. When you know you've done the work, you stop seeking validation. Confidence doesn't shout, it stands firm. And one of the most underrated confidence builders is learning how to talk to yourself. If your inner voice constantly says, "I'm not good enough, I don't belong, I'll fail," then no external success will ever make you confident. Priyanka has often emphasized inner strength, believing in yourself when the world questions you. Confidence begins with self-respect in your own thoughts. Talk to yourself like someone you're responsible for protecting. Encourage yourself. Correct yourself without cruelty. Push yourself without destroying yourself. You don't become confident by being perfect. You become confident by being honest, resilient, and consistent. And remember this, confidence doesn't mean you'll never feel insecure again. It means insecurity no longer stops you. You can feel fear and still move forward. You can feel doubt and still speak up. You can feel unsure and still take the next step. That's real confidence. And this is only the beginning. Because the truth is, confidence is not a destination you arrive at one day and stay forever. It's a daily choice, a decision you make every single morning when you look at yourself and decide how you're going to show up in the world. One of the biggest shifts that helped build real confidence was learning not to chase validation. When you rely on applause to feel worthy, your confidence becomes fragile. The moment the applause stops, so does your belief in yourself. Priyanka learned early that external praise is temporary, but internal belief is permanent. If you want confidence, stop outsourcing your self-worth. Not everyone will understand your journey. Not everyone will support your growth. Some people will only see you through the version of you they're comfortable with. And the moment you start growing beyond that version, they'll resist it. Confidence grows when you're willing to disappoint people in order to stay true to yourself. This is where most people break. They shrink back because they don't want to be judged. They don't want to be misunderstood. They don't want to stand out. But confidence requires courage. The courage to be seen, even when you're criticized. When Priyanka stepped into unfamiliar territories, especially on global platforms, the criticism didn't stop. Instead of letting it silence her, she used it as fuel. Not anger, not ego, fuel. Criticism only has power when you believe it defines you. Once you understand that opinions are reflections of others' limitations, not your potential, confidence becomes unshakable. You stop trying to prove yourself to people who don't matter and start focusing on becoming better than you were yesterday. Another powerful lesson is learning how to walk alone. Confidence isn't built in crowds. It's built when you stand by your decisions, even when no one claps, even when people doubt you, even when support is silent. There were times when she chose paths others questioned, different roles, different markets, different risks. But she trusted her instincts because she knew one thing. Nobody else has to live with your choices except you. If you don't trust yourself, no one else will. And trusting yourself comes from honoring your word to yourself. When you say you'll do something, do it. When you promise growth, show up for it. Every small promise you keep builds self-trust. Every broken promise weakens it. Confidence is self-trust in action. Another thing most people misunderstand about confidence is thinking it means being loud. It doesn't. Some of the most confident people speak softly, but their presence is undeniable. Confidence is calm. It doesn't rush to explain. It doesn't beg to be noticed. Priyanka's confidence often showed in how she carried herself, not in perfection, but in poise. She owned her space without overpowering others. That's the difference between ego and confidence. Ego screams, confidence listens. And here's something crucial. Confidence grows when you stop comparing yourself to others. Comparison is a thief. It steals your joy, your progress, and your belief. There will always be someone ahead of you and someone behind you. But your journey is yours alone. The moment you measure yourself against others, you lose sight of your own growth. Instead of asking, why them? Ask, what can I learn? Confidence isn't about being better than others. It's about being better than your past self. Another hidden confidence killer is perfectionism. Waiting to be flawless before taking action keeps you stuck. Priyanka didn't wait to be perfect before stepping into new challenges. She learned on the job, she adapted, she evolved. Growth requires discomfort. Confidence is built inside discomfort. You don't gain confidence by staying safe. You gain it by stretching yourself. By walking into rooms where you're the least experienced. By saying yes before you feel fully ready. Because readiness is not a feeling, it's a decision. And the more you expose yourself to challenges, the the more your nervous system learns that you can survive them. That's how confidence rewires your brain. You stop asking, what if I fail? And start asking, what if I learn? That mindset alone can change your life. Confidence is not about controlling outcomes. It's about trusting yourself no matter the outcome. When you trust yourself to handle success and failure with grace, fear loses its grip. And slowly, quietly, without you even realizing it, you start standing taller. You start speaking clearer. You start believing deeper, not because the world changed, but because you did. And once that shift happens inside you, something powerful changes in how the world responds to you. People don't follow confidence because it's loud. They follow it because it's steady, because it feels grounded, because it doesn't beg for approval. One of the strongest confidence lessons is learning to embrace your story, not the polished version, but the real one. Your struggles, your failures, your awkward beginnings, they are not weaknesses. They are proof that you showed up. Priyanka never erased where she came from to fit into where she was going. She carried her roots with pride, and that pride became a source of strength, not limitation. Confidence grows when you stop being ashamed of your past and start using it as fuel. You didn't survive everything you went through just to doubt yourself now. Another key to confidence is learning how to respond to fear. Fear doesn't disappear when you become confident. It changes its role. Instead of being a stop sign, it becomes a signal that you're stepping into growth. Every time your heart races before taking a risk, that's not weakness. That's your body preparing you for expansion.
Confident people don't avoid fear, they walk with it.
And one of the most empowering habits is speaking up for yourself. Not aggressively, not defensively, but clearly, calmly, with self-respect. When you set boundaries, confidence multiplies. You teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate. The moment you stop accepting disrespect, you send a powerful message, not just to others, but to yourself. And every boundary you enforce strengthens your confidence. Priyanka learned to say no without guilt, to protect her energy, to choose roles, opportunities, and relationships that aligned with her values. That clarity created confidence, because confidence isn't about saying yes to everything. It's about saying yes to what matters. Another underrated confidence builder is patience. Confidence doesn't grow overnight. It grows quietly through consistency, through showing up again after failure, through staying committed when progress feels slow. If you quit every time confidence dips, it will never stabilize. But if you stay, if you keep going, confidence becomes part of your identity. And here's the truth most people need to hear. You don't need permission to believe in yourself. You don't need everyone's support. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need to feel ready. You just need the courage to start. Confidence is not something you wait for, it's something you practice. Every time you choose courage over comfort, confidence grows. Every time you choose honesty over approval, confidence grows. Every time you choose growth over fear, confidence grows. And one day you look back and realize the person you used to be scared to become is now who you are. Not because you were fearless, but because you refused to quit on yourself. So the next time doubt whispers that you're not enough, remember this. Confidence isn't about proving anything to the world. It's about trusting yourself enough to keep going. And when you do that, nothing can stop you. So if you remember only one thing from this, remember this. Confidence is not given to the lucky. It is earned by the brave, by the ones who show up even when their hands are shaking, by the ones who keep moving forward even when they're unsure, by the ones who believe in themselves before the world does. You don't wake up confident one day, you build it choice by choice, moment by moment, step by step. You build confidence when you stop running from discomfort and start using it as training. You build confidence when you stop asking, am I good enough? And start saying, I'm growing. You build confidence when you stop waiting for permission and start honoring your own voice. Look at your life. Look at how far you've already come. Everything you survived was preparing you for who you're becoming. You were never weak. You were becoming stronger. Confidence isn't loud. It isn't perfect. It isn't fearless. It's steady. It's honest. It's earned. So walk into rooms knowing you belong. Speak knowing your voice matters. Dream knowing you are capable. And even on days when doubt tries to pull you back, remember this. Confidence isn't about never falling. It's about always getting back up and choosing yourself again. Do that consistently, and one day, without even realizing it, you won't be trying to be confident anymore. You'll simply be confident because you built it.